Hey everybody, welcome back to W.M.S.T episode number 8. Let's introduce you to the crew this week. We've got no gimmicks, Cam here.
Hi.
Hey man. And we got editor-in-chief Ziggler.
What's up, Syed? How you doing today?
Good man, good. And we got Hound.
What's up, boys?
What's up? And of course, as always, I'm your host, Syed. And this week, let's get started. We're gonna kick off with our Road to Endgame reviews this week. This week, we've got Captain America Civil War. Just short weeks left till Endgame. Just next month, it's gonna be Endgame. So we're getting very close to end of this Road to Endgame review. So we're gonna start with Ziggler, who requested to go first. So go ahead, Ziggler, with your review for Captain America Civil War.
Thank you. Captain America Civil War is my favorite MCU movie of all time. I don't know if it's going to stay like that when Endgame comes out, but we'll see. The Captain America trilogy is the best MCU trilogy and probably the best superhero trilogy of all time. I love this movie and I love the comic book. And I first remember seeing this in a packed theater with hardcore fans on May 6, 2016. Now, what I can say about the movie is that, what can I say that hasn't been said already? I believe this is like a modern superhero masterpiece. The Russos did a phenomenal job with this movie. The only one flaw in this movie for me is the villain, Zemo. That's his name, right?
Yep, Zemo, yep.
Yeah, he wasn't the best. He could have been better, or could have not had them at all. The Civil War comic book didn't have Zemo in it, and it worked perfectly. Instead, it kind of had Maria Hill in a kind of not so similar role, like Zemo, like kind of like a bad person, almost like Zemo in the comic book. But I still, Zemo. I wasn't a fan of Zemo. You already know. Also, it's crazy. Like in a comic book, it's like so many superheroes, but this one, not really enough, which sucks because now with the merger finally happening, they finally have the heroes they could have used for Civil War. Because like Reed Richards and Sue Storm were like big characters in the comic books, and they're left out of this, of course, because they didn't own them. Also, Black Panther was so badass in this movie. I love Black Panther in this movie. This was the most badass we've ever seen Black Panther. He wasn't Civil War badass in his own movie, which sucks, but it was still a good movie. But also, I want to talk about the introduction of Spider-Man. Spider-Man, it was fucking awesome. I remember in the theater, when the screen said Queens, the theater fucking erupted. It was so awesome. And I just love how it introduced us to the best Peter Parker Spider-Man adaptation to date, Tom Holland. He did a fantastic job and just is Peter Parker in every which way. And the great thing about this movie is that every superhero had their own awesome moment. Every character had their moment to shine, which brings me to Ant-Man. Because holy fuck, when he turned into Giant Man, I legit screamed in the theater, holy shit. It was a real holy shit moment. And I know everyone's favorite scene was the airport scene, but not mine. My favorite scene was the final fight between Captain America and Iron Man. That fight scene was just perfect, intense, emotional, sad, awesome. It was just so good, and I love that line that Cap says in this, which he said in the first one to Tony when he was beating on him, I can do this all day. And then Cap nearly beat him to death. That scene was just awesome. Gives me goosebumps and chills. It's such a great movie, such a great scene. And I give this movie 9.3 out of 10.
9.3 out of 10. Wow, interesting. I predicted a 10 out of 10 from you.
No movie is perfect.
Oh, that's good philosophy.
Because this had Zemo, too. Zemo was a big flaw in it.
Right. Okay, so thanks for that review. Now I'm going to give mine. So Captain America Civil War, in my opinion, really, at the time, revolutionized comic book storytelling. it really brought a sense of Greek mythology to the story because obviously there wasn't a very defined villain. Even though Zemo was a villain, he was given a very minimal role in a way. So the focus was on the good guys and the dissension between the group, which was very well done. And one of the other things that this movie really made you realize as an MCU fan is, actions have consequences. The Avengers, they come in, do their stuff, save the day, they do all this destruction, then they go home, and then the rest of the world has to deal with the fallout. So I think this movie did a really good job at making that point clear, and it made you feel something different. It wasn't. It made you feel for all these action scenes where you would think it's just a mindless action scene. You're just watching people throw stuff, beat up, whatever. But it really made you feel for everything, in my opinion. Um, Another thing I really liked about this movie was Bucky. I think he was very integral to the story and how everything went, and I think Sebastian Stan did a really good job. And of course, Winter Soldier's arc from the last Captain America movie, I feel like really culminated in this movie, and I think they did that very well. And of course, like Ziggler mentioned, Spider-Man's introduction was absolutely perfect. Like the way, oh man, the way he just came on the screen, he just owned that screen. Tom Holland did an amazing job. Like I remember seeing this, and I was like, because I couldn't believe Spider-Man was in the movie. Because you guys won't believe this, but I never saw the trailer for this movie before watching it, so I was completely caught off guard, and I didn't know about the Disney and Sony deal they had with this. So I was having all kinds of reactions.
Yeah, the trailer was crazy too.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I think that made the movie even better for me personally. Of course, like Ant-Man, you talked about him, Scott Lang, aka Paul Rudd, man. I love Paul Rudd. Like that guy has the most likability factor of
He's a
any
goddamn
actor.
national treasure.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, I freaking love Paul Rudd, and his interactions with Captain America is basically what I would be like if I met Chris Evans. Like I would be like, "Hey, Captain," I'll be like all like shaken and stuff. So he really captured that fanboy essence for me. I loved his role, Giant Ant-Man. Really well done.
Does
And of
anybody
course,
have any orange slices?
oh my god, I love that line. Yeah, and of course the main ideology battle in this movie is Iron Man versus Captain America. Now this movie, I feel like did such an amazing job making you feel for both sides. It wasn't like he's the bad guy and this is the good guy. Cheer for the good guy. You know who's the good line, but the line in the sand is all scribbled right now. It's basically it's like you can be on either person's side and you can be right. So I feel like Iron Man, who's obviously into the idea of signing the Accords and uh, giving the Avengers to the government, and Captain America, who character-wise made the right, feels like he made the right decision based on what he saw in Winter Soldier. Freedom is something you just can't take away from anybody, and that's what he felt like. And I personally relate to what Captain America felt like. Like he said, the safest hands are still our own hands, and I think I really agree with that. Like, uh, Captain America fights for the freedom of everybody, including his own. So, uh, I really agreed with him when he didn't sign the Accords, and I was totally Team Captain America. Even though I love Tony Stark and everything, I was totally Team Captain America. So
Yeah,
with that,
Semper Fi.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I know you said there's no perfect movie, but to me, this movie really has no flaw. Even though Zemo had a limited role, the actor who played him, he did a really good job. I really liked his role, and of course, Black Panther, brilliant debut. Of course, I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review. So
That's what you gave
now,
the original Avengers, I believe, too.
yes, I also gave to the
Yeah.
I like, as you can see, I like MCU a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, so we'll go with Cam's review now. Go ahead.
Civil War is actually one of my favorite movies in the MCU. One of my favorite things about it is the storyline of the team falling apart and egos clashing. It's what makes the movie. This also, like Syed said, this also introduces that sometimes they aren't perfect and that their actions have consequences. Whatever they're throwing at, whatever they're throwing, whatever they're destroying, it actually can hurt people. People die. A ton of accidents can happen. What the main attraction of this movie is the airport fight in the teams. From the spider to the giant motherfucking man is one of the MCU's best scenes. There's also so many great people on each team, from Black Widow to Hawkeye to Scarlet Witch. On one side, Spider-Man, Black Panther,
Vision.
Vision. Thank you. And like you all said, this also introduces the MCU to Spider-Man and Panther. They all get their own action. They all get their own action and elements and scenes and character introductions. Holland is actually one of probably my favorite Spider-Man besides Tobey Maguire. Probably, I really like it. Just to see him have this huge responsibility as early as high school really does make the character. But we get to know him even more in the future Homecoming movie. Which team was my favorite? I don't know. I want everyone to win. Russo Brothers hit yet another one out of the park with this one. My rating, because I don't like overrating stuff, 9.25 out of 10.
So that's about 9.25.
9.5 is what I have on my script.
Okay, 9.5 out of 10. Okay, this might be one of our highest rated movies. I know Ziggler.
And here's Hound to fuck it up.
Hound, don't.
I kid.
Go, man.
Don't
Right,
don't do like the Avengers where you put like 6.10 or that's all.
Trust me, man.
Don't ruin this for us.
6 out of 10. Okay, go ahead, Hound.
3 out of 10.
Wow.
No, I'm joking.
Go kill yourself.
We're not counting if you don't give a proper review.
Okay,
I love you,
I'm gonna
Hound.
give a proper review, alright?
Alright, go ahead.
Let me clear my throat. Okay. So Captain America Civil War is like, I don't know, I think after Infinity War came out, it instantly became every Marvel fan's favorite movie or favorite new Marvel movie, and it was my number one favorite for a good while since Infinity War was released until yesterday. And like rewatching Civil War has made me like kind of fall in love with it again, because it was kind of like one of like my top 3 favorite MCU movies, and this was actually the second MCU movie I watched in theaters. This was the movie to really get me into the MCU. Like I watched Age of Ultron, and then it was like Civil War, and then I've just been going to every like Marvel movie since. Well, I didn't watch Doctor Strange in theaters, and I actually watched it 3 times, which is something I rarely do. I even rarely watch a movie like 2 times at least. But I watched this movie 3 times because I just love it that much. And I love the Avengers fight and the start of the movie, like making Cap look like a freaking badass, kicking that guy from like off the truck onto a wall. That was just incredible. Like, could you imagine if he actually did that in real life? If the Avengers was like real, like I would be dead. And this movie brought the introduction of my favorite Marvel character and arguably the best Marvel character, Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is just the freaking best. And I mean, 98% of this movie is 98% is the reason why Spider-Man. Spider-Man is 98%. I mean,
he was like barely in it though. That's
well, from the
he was in
trailer.
it for like 20 minutes.
When I watched the second trailer of Spider-Man grabbing Cap's shield thing, hey everyone, I freaked out. So I've been wanting Spider-Man in the MCU.
Everyone freaked out. Trust me.
Remember, I know Spider-Man's 98% of why I watched the movie, and I think Tom Holland portrayed Peter Parker perfectly in this film. It's so great, and I can't wait to talk more about it. And about Spider-Man and like his life. And are we reviewing Homecoming?
Dude, it's like the 50th time I told you, yes, we are going to review Homecoming.
Okay, I keep forgetting. So I'll talk more about Spider-Man then.
We're reviewing it next week.
Okay,
No,
next week.
Oh, yeah, true. That is next week, yes.
Okay, yeah. Next week I'm gonna freaking go off on Spider-Man because I freaking love that movie so much. Anyways, I think Black Panther is better in Civil War than he is in his own movie, kinda. Because like I don't know, I feel like the movie is like overhyped, and the final battle with the train is kind of bad. I mean, I like the movie. I just feel like it's overhyped, and kind of towards the end, it turns into The Lion King, and yeah, that's just my opinion on it. And I loved Ant-Man in this movie. This movie just made me fall in love with Ant-Man. Didn't really like him in the first movie, but after watching Civil War, seeing him really use his powers, growing super tiny, messing up Iron Man's suit, growing into Giant Man, wrecking the airport all apart, and then Spider-Man pulling a Star Wars reference with the AT-ATs, and then Ant-Man freaking saying, "Does anyone got any orange slices?" That was pretty funny, and I love this suit. And that's it.
What's your final score?
3, 5, 6, 8 out, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Attaboy.
Okay.
Thank God.
9 out of 10. So I just counted our reviews without Ham's review in case he scored it low as fuck. So us three, our review is 9.6. But if I add Hound's review, that makes it a 9.3 out of 10.
Oh, that was my score. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah, so we just ended up with Ziggler's score. So WMST's total score for Civil War is 9.3 out of 10. And again, just for the reminder, we are going to get an updated scores at the end of when we get to Endgame. We're going to reveal the updated scores, so it's going to be like a top 10 style for WMST. So it's going to be interesting to look at what we think is top 10 MCU.
Also, I want to point out what Tom Holland did with Spider-Man. He actually did a New York Queens accent, which no other Spider-Man actor did before him. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really?
Dedication.
I didn't really notice.
Yeah, there's dedication right there.
Oh, also one more thing that annoys me is that in every movie Spider-Man's in, he just moves houses for no reason.
He's poor, okay? When you're poor, you have to move from house to house.
But in every year he just moves.
Dude, I did that.
Yeah, I
can't afford his mortgage or.
I mean, he has
to pay rent.
He can't afford his rent, so he has to move. You know, man. That's life when you're poor.
That's life. Yeah.
I'm
he always
sure
loses
Tony
his
pays
apartment,
him, right? Doesn't Tony pay rent for Aunt May and stuff?
Dude, let's not get into it. Let's just move on. Okay?
How did Tony even find it?
All right. So with that review, we're gonna move on to our next topic. So this is just gonna be me giving my quick thoughts on Triple Frontier. I know a lot of you didn't watch it yet, but I think you guys definitely should. I watched it last weekend, late night. I was like, you know what? I need to watch this movie with Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac. I was like, this is an amazing cast. And the movie is really good, really focused movie, very well shot. The action scenes are really heart pounding, and the chase scenes are really incredibly well shot. The character wise, it's not really the best movie. Like, it's, you know what? Like, any actor could have played any character, but I felt like in some scenes, a lot of the actors just brought their own kind of charm to the scene. Like Ben Affleck was great, and Oscar Isaac was great. All of them were really good. Yeah, but I thought that this was a very well made movie. It's a very focused movie too. Like there's not a lot of plot points. There's just one plot point. These guys are former Marines. They're trying to get this money from this gang member in Mexico, and it's like a ton of money. Like it's like $400 billion or something, and it's very interesting to see how much because they're like very poor. So they're like, you know what, we don't care if we're breaking the law. We got to get that money. So it's a very interesting outlook on soldiers and what they do for us. But at the end of the day, their lives isn't as good as we hoped it would be. So it's a very interesting look. I personally thought it was a great 8 out of 10 movie. So I think you guys should definitely check it out. It was very surprising. I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be great. So definitely an 8 out of 10 for me.
Oh, all right. And it's on Netflix. The Netflix movie.
It's on Netflix. Yes.
All right.
So that's the best part. Yeah.
You guys should also check out a Netflix movie called The Dirt, based on Motley Crue. It's fucking crazy.
Watching that next, definitely.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I just want to give my quick thoughts on it. I thought our viewers would be very interested in a movie like that. So with that, we'll move on to our next topic. This is a bit DC related now. News came out recently from The Hollywood Reporter that Ezra Miller is demanding a better script for The Flash. So the story goes that the writers who wrote the script for Spider-Man: Homecoming, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, were hired by DC to write a script for the Flash movie. Now, the report says it could be Flashpoint, it could not be Flashpoint. So the script's still in work, but from the early drafts of the scripts, it looks like it's going to be kind of a lighthearted attempt at the movie, pretty similar to what Homecoming was. Now, Ezra Miller apparently isn't a fan of the script, and he apparently wants a more darker and grounded take on the character, which I guess if it's a Flashpoint kind of makes sense, but we'll have to. That's another news. We'll have to see what happens. But the bigger news is that Ezra Miller has decided that he's going to write a script himself. Co-writing the script with him is legendary comic book writer Grant Morrison, who wrote a lot of Flash comics, and a lot of the famous runs were written by him. Also, Superman, very prominent writer for that character as well.
He wrote a lot of DC comics, a lot of Batman, and
I thought he only wrote Watchmen.
What?
Watchmen?
Sorry, what? He wrote Watchmen?
Yeah, didn't Grant Morrison write Watchmen?
Okay, I'm not sure, but yeah, he's a very well-known name in the comic book industry. So he's co-writing the script with Ezra Miller. So apparently, it's a very high-stakes thing because Ezra Miller's contract is ending this coming May, and they're gonna submit a script. Both Goldstein and Francis Daly, they're gonna submit their script, and Ezra and Grant Morrison are gonna submit their script, and DC is gonna choose one script, and apparently if Ezra's script doesn't get picked up, he's gonna leave the character, and they'll have to recast. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it's I don't know, it's a very crazy news, to be honest. So I'll let me get your guys' take. So we'll
also
go with
Grant Morrison did not write Watchmen. Alan Moore did.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking, like some other guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let's get Hound's take on this. Go ahead, Hound.
Alright, I got some things to say, because the Flash is my favorite DC character. He's been my favorite since 2015, when I started watching the Flash TV show. And I think he's the greatest character DC has come up with. You might say, oh no, it's Batman. Shut up.
Superman.
The Flash can literally, do anything in a second.
So can Superman.
Yeah, whatever. So I got... So Ezra needs to stop. This whole he wants a darker part. This isn't Batman v Superman if it actually was successful with the fans. No, it flopped. Well, I don't know if it flopped, but it was poorly reviewed. Critics hated it. Fans hated it. The whole Martha scene was some real BS.
I didn't hate BVS. I actually kind of liked it.
Next podcast, we're defending it. Just kidding. Go
Okay, so a gritty reboot Flash, whatever movie would work if BVS was good with everyone. Everybody just loved it, but it didn't. People didn't like it. So now they're turning to Marvel, where they're gonna be all bright, sunny, with some dark moments. And the Flash, like out of all the Justice League characters, Flash is the only one where he's like the light-hearted, funny guy. Like especially Barry Allen. Barry Allen's like a goof. He's like a nerd. He studies the Speed Force and stuff. Like I don't think the only story that would work is either Crisis on Infinite Earths or Flashpoint would be the only dark stories that would work with a darker script. I think Ezra should just stop and should just continue with the script that the Homecoming writers wrote, because the Homecoming was a great movie, and I want this movie to happen. This movie has been in the plans for years. Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash in 2013, I believe, and he's been in what 3 movies already. If he dips out of the project, this is just gonna be so bad, because I just love this character so much, and I want to see him do justice. I don't want the first Flash.
No pun intended.
I don't want this movie to ever I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be good. I want it to be right on track. I want people to take their time. This movie was reportedly started to film in a few months or something, and I feel like because of this, it's gonna delay because we're gonna have to find a whole new actor. That actor is gonna beat the Flash, and it's gonna be confusing. I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm ranting on this. This is just a big when I heard this, I was like, Ezra is freaking stupid. I watched Fantastic Beasts. You were shit in that. That movie was supposed to be dark and stuff. Ezra was supposed to be this dark, brooding character. No, he was boring. And that I really wish I did not watch that movie. And
hey, actors try to work with what they're given.
What they're given, yeah.
Hopefully they can work together. Grant Morrison and the Homecoming writers can work on a script all together or something. I don't know. I just want the Flash movie to be perfect as it can be. I want it to make so much money. I want it to be the new best DC movie besides Shazam. And yeah, that's all I gotta say with it. I'm sorry for so long.
Yeah. So before I get to Ziggler, I just gotta say, I personally liked Ezra Miller's take on the character.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I personally
I'm not hating on it. His take
I
on
got you.
Barry Allen. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. I personally don't mind if he wants to do his own script. I think there's a chance DC can just be like, you know what, we like your script. We'll just do it, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to lose, and if they decide to do Flashpoint, that is going to be a dark storyline. So it all depends on where they want to go. So there's a lot at stake. I mean, even if there's a recast, it could just be a 6-month recast and probably a 2022 or 2023 release. So we'll see where it goes. I want to get Ziggler's take now. Go ahead, Ziggler.
I love Ezra Miller. He's a fantastic young actor, and he was great in Justice League, I believe. I mean, I wish they had more scenes with Ezra Miller as a Flash, which they did. Like that one scene where I've seen that deleted scene where he saves Iris or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish they would have kept that in the movie. But I mean, if he wants to try to write the movie with Grant Morrison, fucking go at it, man. Grant Morrison is a fantastic writer. Hopefully they can make a great script, make a great story. And I honestly really want the Flashpoint movie to happen. I mean, people might say it's too early for his first Flash movie, but I'm saying just go all out. Just go all out, DC. I mean, what do you have to lose, man?
I would just much rather prefer this is gonna be the Flash's first ever live action movie. He's not like Batman or Superman that has had all these 6 movies. I want it to just be a regular origin movie, and then the second one could be a Flashpoint or that.
Okay, I mean, okay, now I personally see where you're coming from with the origin story. I think that would be fine. But here's the thing, with the emergence of Wonder Woman and Aquaman, I feel like if they do the Flashpoint story, which is a big deal for a lot of comic book fans, this is the perfect time to do it. Both Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at their peak right now, and they're a very integral part of that Flashpoint
And
story. 'Cause
Shazam.
yeah, because because especially Wonder Woman and Aquaman, who are the Atlanteans and the Mascara people are at war in that movie. So it's
Yeah.
one of those
Yep,
things
yeah.
they can strike gold with this movie.
And also get Jeffrey Dean Morgan back as Thomas Wayne. That'd be cool.
Right. Like, I mean, this movie has a lot of potential, so we'll see where it heads. So it's going to be interesting next few weeks, because Ezra's contract, again, I mentioned, is coming up in May. So after May, we could be looking at a new Flash. So we'll see
And
where
we
it
can
goes.
also get a new Superman in that movie too.
Oh, I mean, we'll see. A lot at stake right now.
But also, it's a very dark story. Like they might have to go like full rated R for that story.
right. I mean,
saw the
Wait, what?
I saw the
Wait,
animated feature for Flashpoint Paradox. I didn't read the graphic novel yet. I
Yeah,
really
it's
want
very
to,
dark.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very dark. Like freaking Wonder Woman kills Aquaman, I believe, and
No, she kills. She
no,
does that, and
she
kills
no,
Mera.
she kills Mera. Yeah, she chops off her fucking head.
I know. It's
And then
crazy.
she kills Aquaman at the end movie. And
Right,
also,
yeah.
she kills Billy Batson. Not Shazam, she kills Billy Batson as a kid. She kills
yo,
like,
what?
this
Yeah.
is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I think you know what? I think they're
Yeah,
gonna
I gotta
take
watch
some
that.
elements, but not all of them. But yeah,
Like
it's a big deal.
that's
Yeah.
pretty dark for like a PG-13 movie. If they're
I mean,
gonna do that.
they're never
They're
gonna
gonna have Gal
rated R
Gadot
for
kill a
Flashpoint,
kid on
Hey
screen.
man, just push the limits, for PG-13.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. All
I
right.
mean,
So
they can have it. They just
Fuck
can't
that
show it.
MPAA rating.
yeah. All right. So let's move on to our next topic. We're gonna talk about. So we're gonna move on to what's happening on the road to WrestleMania. Some crazy stuff happened this week. Not gonna lie. Kurt Angle announced a retirement match, which a lot of people were looking forward to. People were thinking, oh, it's gonna be John Cena, it's gonna be Samoa Joe, or it's gonna be AJ Styles. It's gotta be somebody big. Kurt's final match. Kurt's such a legend and all that. It's Baron Corbin. He's the one who's gonna retire Kurt Angle. Now, I know a lot of people had a lot of negativity towards the decision. Personally, I'm going to defend Baron Corbin because it's a big deal for a young wrestler to face a veteran at WrestleMania. And Baron Corbin, in my opinion, is not that bad of a wrestler. And I think they have a history, so they can exploit that in the next coming week. Now, I'm not really against this match, but I do feel like it's a bit underwhelming considering it's Kurt's last match. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of reports saying that it might be changed as like they might swerve us. So we'll see what happens. But let's get your guys' take. I'm gonna go with Cam first.
Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, WrestleMania 35.
Perfect.
One of these things is not like the other.
I wonder what it is.
I understand that Angle Corbin makes sense from a storyline perspective because Baron's been a thorn in Angle's side for months, but fans, myself included, want to see Angle go out with a bang. It's his last hurrah. Might as well go out in a blaze of glory. Corbin isn't that much of a bang. Now, I don't mind Baron Corbin. I mean, this interim general manager constable thing where he looks like a bartender at an Applebee's hasn't been working for me. But I do understand that he in a way he deserves the opportunity, but he's kind of in the wrong, kind of like in the wrong place, wrong time ordeal. I'm not done yet. Hold on. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get my hopes up, but him over various other wrestlers on the roster, it's just, it's off. It doesn't look good.
Right. Who do you think should be the one to replace Corbin if they decide to replace him?
If they do decide to replace him, the popular consensus is John Cena. I mean, originally, I
What
was
about you,
thinking,
though?
I wasn't done. Originally, I was thinking, Cena's gonna face whoever's the U.S. champion at Mania. But since Samoa Joe's gonna face Rey Mysterio, which was announced on
Right.
Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
you might as well just put Cena in this.
Cena. Yeah, I think that's a very popular choice. Cena's first match was obviously Kurt Angle on SmackDown back in 2002. And now, like 15, 17 years later, Kurt's last match is John Cena. So that would be kind of a full circle storyline, and it would be a big matchup, definitely for Mania.
I don't expect. I don't expect them to get Sean Stasiak anytime soon. So might as well get Cena.
Right, exactly. True. And Ziggler, go ahead.
It's funny. Right after he announced that his opponent was going to be not Braun Strowman, my dumbass, Baron Corbin. Literally, an opponent came out for Kurt Angle to wrestle, Chad Gable, and I was like, holy shit, Chad Gable versus Kurt Angle. How is this not a pay-per-view match? That would have been perfect for his WrestleMania match. Chad Gable's an excellent, fantastic wrestler, man. And he's just like a mini Kurt Angle. Like, what the fuck? That's perfect. What happened? WWE? You let me down again. But yeah, I don't. A lot of people like I said, I did want John Cena, but it just doesn't make any sense for John Cena versus Kurt Angle for Kurt Angle's last match. I mean, it's more of a thing for like John Cena's last match should be Kurt Angle, and not really like Kurt Angle's last match should be John Cena. It wouldn't make sense for Kurt Angle. It will make more sense for John Cena. But I wanted John Cena versus Samoa Joe anyway, so it looks like that's not going to happen. So yeah, but also I would have liked to see Chad Gable as his WrestleMania opponent.
Yeah. Before we get to Hound, I
or
do
Jason
like
Jordan, because Jason Jordan's really good
Right,
too. So
you read my mind, man. I did see
only-
that meme.
The only
Yeah,
downside to it is Jordan's neck is still fucked, and he's probably not going to wrestle again.
Oh,
Well,
I wasn't sure about that.
then do literally the next best thing, Chad Gable. Chad
Of
Gable's better than
course.
Jason Jordan too.
But they wasted it.
I know they wasted it on Raw, which pissed me off.
Yeah,
The
somebody
impatient
posted.
fuckers.
Yeah, somebody posted like this kayfabe meme. They were like, "Damn, Kurt Angle didn't pick his own son for his last match, but he picks Baron Corbin. That's cold. That's tough."
Baron Corbin's not a bad wrestler. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, but
Right.
I just don't want to see him versus Kurt Angle. Like, didn't we see it like a month ago on Raw?
Like before Royal Rumble, I think that was the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, couldn't have got like someone else.
I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. Thanks.
Like,
Right.
it also would have been cool for like an NXT guy like Matt Riddle or something like that,
Oh,
or Velveteen Dream. I don't know.
now you're talking. Yeah. And Hound, go ahead. Hound.
Yeah, it would have been cool to like have his own son like put his own dad to in retirement. That would have been like pretty funny. But since Jason Jordan is probably literally retired from wrestling, he's probably like, yeah. And I mean, I would have liked to see Joe versus Kurt Angle. Like that would have been pretty cool. Like, why Baron Corbin of all people? I know, like, he's so boring. Like he has two cool moves that he like does, and like his character is just boring and annoying. Like I don't know why, but ever since
Hey, he has 3 cool moves. 3.
What's the third one?
That
That
clothesline
clothesline
thing.
in the corner.
Yeah, we were talking about this off air. Remember?
Well, I don't know. Baron Corbin's whatever. I don't really like him, and I think it would have been perfect. Like John Cena's first ever match was Kurt Angle. Now, how like perfect would it be if the person who has had the first match put them into retirement or whatever? And I mean, you guys have been saying like, oh, like it would have been cool if it was like Cena's last match or whatever. Like, I mean, it's probably going to be Cena's last match for a while, though, to be honest. Cena's probably going to show up on Raw and, like, maybe not even. And, like, because, like, remember when Vince was, like, Santa Claus and he was like, oh, was John Cena's returning to WWE in 2019. He returned for, like, 2 hours and then dipped.
Vince was Santa Claus? What the hell?
Like, do you not
At
watch
part
Raw on
time.
a weekly basis?
No,
Am
no,
I mean,
Yeah,
not anymore, really.
Am I the only one on this podcast who actually watches wrestling?
Yes.
Oh, you actually
I watch it,
I
but it's on
watch
in the back.
wrestling, but
I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT on a weekly basis, bro.
I mean, me too.
Good job,
Sometimes
man.
Sometimes Raw is in the background, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it for like 6 months last year because it got so boring.
Damn. I like stuck.
All right.
I just put it on.
You
in
know
the
what?
background.
Yeah. Now we're getting off topic, but Eric Block. But you know what? Let's move on to our
Yeah, my pick
next
is
topic.
like John Cena.
Okay, gotcha.
Cena's a part-time motherfucker now.
Right. That's Cam's new
Who's
catchphrase
talking
now.
about
Gotta
that
talk
guy?
about Braun Strowman now. I know it's not a big topic as Braun Strowman is literally not doing much at WrestleMania. Maybe he's gonna be in the Battle Royal, which barely anybody's gonna watch, and maybe he's
He
gonna
is.
have.
Braun's gonna win.
Well, no,
gonna
no,
be in the
yeah,
Battle Royal.
he is gonna be in the Battle Royal. I said barely anybody's gonna watch it. Like that's what I'm saying.
If Braun doesn't win, I will do something crazy.
Okay. Hold up, 1
Like,
second.
how the fuck do you not have
then
to
he-
win?
Right, and then he's gonna have probably on the main show he's gonna have a segment with Colin Jost and Michael Che of Saturday Night Live. So that's gonna be some goofy stuff. So to me, the question I'm proposing to you guys is why is it that Braun Strowman's booking is so baffling? Like to me, he's a perfect Vince McMahon type of guy. Like he's of course like the joke says, big sweaty man. You know, and the fans really like him. And at one point he was so over that people were just clamoring for him to become the Universal Champion. Now I have no idea how they get from that to this, and as he's pretty much the modern day Big Show now. To me, I feel like this is such a wasted opportunity because they could have had him become a star. They could have had him as a Universal Champion, and he could have been the prototypical champion that WWE wants, and also the fans like. So it's one of those baffling things about WWE I don't get as to why they weren't fully able to get behind Braun Strowman. So I'll get your guys' take. Ziggler, go ahead.
They just didn't pull the trigger when the iron was hot, you know? They just fucked it up. Like, he was so over, and they just didn't do anything with him. They just kept on making him destroy stuff. That's what he's good for, I guess. But, yeah, man. His push died after he won the Money in the Bank, and then he lost to Roman Reigns. So, yeah, that's when his push died.
Do you think it's happening too much though? Like, do you think WWE is just not getting on board with anybody except a Roman Reigns?
I think they're getting on board with Kofi Kingston and Becky Lynch. So,
But
yeah.
do you think
But
these
not
stop
Seth
and start?
Rollins.
Maybe it's due to backstage shenanigans. Because I heard some rumors that like Braun's like showing up late to shows and maybe early or whatever, being disrespectful. So maybe that's had to do with it. Maybe.
Right, the politics are probably getting into it. So yeah, go ahead, expand on that point. Hound, go ahead.
Oh, well, but yeah.
That's you. Yeah.
I think because there was like a rumor a couple months back that Braun was like acting disrespectful and stuff. So I feel like maybe that maybe like play into it. And Braun Strowman's biggest years, like the year where he was like, "Yo, Braun Strowman is the best thing on Raw right now," was from 2016 through maybe the middle of 2017, maybe towards the end. Like those 2 years were the best of Braun Strowman. 2018 he sucked. 2019 still sucking. Like every week he would do something crazy. Like it was awesome. He would do something with the car. He would do something with Roman. That one time where he like almost killed Roman Reigns on like national television and live, and like everyone in the arena was like, "Yo, yes, yes," that was so crazy. Like people cheered for Roman Reigns to get seriously injured by Braun Strowman when Braun Strowman was supposed to be the heel. That's how over he was.
Yeah, because everybody hated Roman
Yeah,
Reigns
I
and they
know, I
loved
know.
everyone who killed him.
I know, but like, even if it wasn't Braun, I don't think they would have gotten a bigger pop than Braun did. Like, if it was like someone like
Seth would have.
if it was Samoa Joe, then
Becky
maybe
Lynch would have.
Steph maybe. Becky,
Literally
Becky
anybody
Lynch
would.
would have fucking attacked Roman Reigns. That would awesome as hell.
That would look very unrealistic, but whatever.
But yeah, that's basically my point on Lesnar. WWE has ruined Brock Lesnar for the foreseeable future. Like the whole like what happened to the greatest Royal Rumble, like whatever the Wrestling in Arabia thing was.
Redacted.
Like, like what happened to that title? He won a trophy. He won a 50-man Royal Rumble that Daniel Bryan
That's
should have won.
probably just
That didn't happen.
Dropped
He
that
didn't win a
day.
Royal Rumble. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways.
Saudi
I don't even
Arabia
know
is
if
a
that's
He
canon
won?
or not.
Hey, what
Won
the hell,
in a
man?
foreign country.
He didn't
Yeah.
want anything in that place. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, and then he also lost the Money in the Bank as well. Like they like
Oh, that's the most infuriating part. The way he lost.
yeah. I
God, I
hate it.
forgot. I didn't watch Hell in a Cell. How did he lose it?
I don't know.
I
The
still don't know
mask
how he
got
lost
thrown
it.
out.
The
I
Hell in a
didn't
Cell
even know
match.
he lost it until Syed mentioned it. I was like, he
The
was
Hell in
Money
a
in the
Cell
Bank?
match ended in a DQ. I could not believe my eyes. I was
Wait, when?
furious. The back in September, Hell in a Cell.
Right
I
after SummerSlam.
completely forgot that Braun Strowman was even like held the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like
Right.
actually.
Right. And Cam, go ahead.
So how is it that the most over act from 2016 to 2017 is basically a comedy joke now? All he does is flip stuff now. I remember when that used to be the biggest thing ever, the "I'm not finished with you" thing, where he basically would kill Roman Reigns every single week.
That
He
was
almost
awesome.
he once died. He once got crushed in a garbage truck and came back like it was nothing. Braun of the Dead. And
Mhm.
like the fact that he's not a two-time Universal Champion right now is quite baffling, really. And the fact that Lesnar has held the title for 2 years, mind you, combined 2 years, is just depressing, really. How is it that WWE 2K19's My Career mode can make him a Universal Champion, but WWE can't?
Wow.
It's a crying shame that Strowman is just in this position right now. He's like, 1 minute he's huge, 1 minute he's not. Like, you know the Pepe Silva meme from Always Sunny, and you know those stock market
All right.
charts where it goes like shocking and then down. That's his momentum.
All right.
They should put the Intercontinental title on him. That would be a good feud with Bobby Lashley.
Literally
Maybe.
any title, just give it to him.
Anything
Give
with
him
Bobby
something.
Lashley makes me fall asleep.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
You make me
just
fall asleep.
there now.
I can't believe Finn lost after a week.
Okay. We're not talking about Finn. All right.
At least Balor held his title for a little bit.
Finn is for
Yeah.
everyone. No, that's Balor Club. Never mind. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, just something to bring up as, like it's a very common problem in WWE, but it's one of those things like as a fan, you just got to deal with it. But at the same time, that's probably those start and stop pushes is what kind of made me get away from the product a little bit. So yeah, something to think about. So yeah, let's move on, to our next topic. I know you guys are looking forward to talking about this. Kofi Kingston, like we talked about last week, is running the Gauntlet again. He ran the Gauntlet again and apparently won. But like Ziggler predicted, Vince McMahon came out. Now, I was thinking about Ziggler this whole time. I was like, wait, is he going to give him a front row ticket to WrestleMania or what's going on? No, it was another match after going through 5 men. He had to go through another one being Daniel Bryan, who beat him quite easily, as seeing Kofi went through 5 matches, 5 really awesome matches. So uh, another roadblock in Kofi's road to WrestleMania. Now I think they will eventually get to him versus Bryan, but I feel like this is leading up to a bigger moment where they are going to have their own uh, Occupy Raw kind of segment with Invade SmackDown maybe. So I think it's leading to very exciting possibilities in the future.
What if they
So I
pull
want,
the race card and just have all minorities in the ring?
well, maybe. Go ahead, Ziggler. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Oh, yeah, I thought Vince was going to restart the match with Orton because Orton, he barely had his shoulder up for the count of 3, so I thought he was going to restart it, but I didn't think he was going to put Bryan in it, but yeah, I was surprised when he put Bryan in it and he won, so well, I wasn't surprised that he won. Bryan won because we all knew kind of he was going to win. But yeah, I love this storyline so much, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a big payoff, and WWE really does, as Hal would say, pull the plug on this. They pull the trigger because the Iron is so goddamn fucking hot right now. So Kofi, they need to put the title on Kofi at WrestleMania 35. Please do it, Vince. Please. And I want this to be the main event. I don't want the women to main event anymore because the women, they lost a lot of heat. And unless they can gain back all the momentum in these next coming weeks, then they shouldn't be main eventing because Kofi and Bryan have all the momentum right now. Everybody fucking hates Bryan right now and hates Vince, and everybody loves Kofi right now. And that is the biggest and best storyline going into WrestleMania right now. And that's why it needs the main event, in my opinion. And what's more important to main event? Women first main eventing or the first black champion main eventing? What's more important? I think it's the first black champion.
Yeah, depends on somebody, but yeah, I do agree with you though, personally, yeah. And Cam, your take?
Once again, how is it that a last-minute replacement for Mustafa Ali would become an overnight sensation?
Crazy.
It's baffling just to see how a last-minute replacement became an absolute superstar. Like, I want to see them pull the trigger on this, but knowing that this is basically going to be, we're going to troll and mess with the fans for a bit, we all just got to smile through the pain for 3 more weeks because it's going to get there eventually.
True.
They've got to pull the trigger on this. Meanwhile, I actually had another theory about this. I said a couple weeks ago on Insta that said everybody loves the underdogs until they actually make it. But Kofi's the new underdog in town, and Becky's pretty much old news now. Becky's momentum has pretty much been cooled down a bit after this entire feud.
Thanks to creative.
Yes, thanks to them basically messing up. And now
should have just kept her heel.
No, they shouldn't have threw her out in the match, put Charlotte in, and did the whole suspension angle.
Yeah, no, but she was also better when she was heel, like not like a face,
Like she's cleaner, give or take. Well, I'm not done.
Kofi.
They pretty much put their stock into this thing. Like they might as well just keep going with it and actually pull the trigger. I actually have an idea for a whole Occupy skit. Mm-hmm. Instead of having fans keep going into this, why not have the entire face roster say, you know that you have to do this. Do it, you coward. And basically some people are going to walk out on them.
Oh my god, dude, I love that idea so much. Because if you don't mind, I want to expand on that a little bit.
So like Styles and the Usos and everybody like that?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that idea because I feel like the face roster and just the roster in general in WWE gets treated like a little, punks, all the time.
Also bring up NXT and Raw guys too.
Sure, why not? I mean, I feel like the whole roster, they don't feel like independent contractors in a way. They just feel like a bunch of employees that they have to abide by the rules. They don't feel like badasses. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the kind of segment that's gonna be like those wrestlers' defining moment because they know after that there's no going back. So I feel like that's gonna really make a lot of wrestlers' credibility go up. So Cam, I absolutely love that idea. You're an absolute genius, man. I love that idea. Uh, Hound, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think Ziggy is right, and this should be the main event of Mania. Like I was hyped for the women's stuff. Like now they've been kind of. I mean, it's not really the main focus on Raw anymore. Like maybe the main focus has been like this whole Seth versus Brock thing. Like I keep forgetting that Seth Rollins is gonna fight Brock for the title. Like that's so crazy. There's a whole
They're
bunch of
doing
rules,
nothing with
but
it.
yeah, like
Like they're doing
I
nothing
mean,
with it.
your champion isn't on Raw, so what can you do?
yeah,
It's
Just have
Kofi
to.
and
basically
Daniel. Like
a one-man build.
hold on, like when Daniel revealed that he can wrestle again, everybody loved Daniel. Nobody could ever see a day where we hated Daniel Bryan. Even when he turned heel, people still loved Daniel Bryan, except for the little kids who don't know this is all scripted. And like, uh, I love Daniel Bryan until last week. I freaking hate Daniel now. Like Daniel's like one of my favorite wrestlers, but now and like not even since I know all this like kayfabe stuff, like I hate Daniel now because like he took away Kofi's deserving spot. Like Vince just came out there and was like,
Job as a heel. Just before we go on to our next topic, I gotta mention the post I did on my IG just a few days ago. The Daniel Bryan story really reminds me of this amazing quote from Harvey Dent from Dark Knight. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I think that
Hulk Hogan,
that really is
Bill Cosby.
"What?
right. That really
Damn.
is
Oof."
in a kayfabe sense, that is Daniel Bryan's story. Like everybody loved him when he came back. In a kayfabe sense, now everybody really thinks of him as the villain. So it's a very interesting storytelling, and that's exactly why I feel like I said last week, this is the best storyline heading into WrestleMania.
Who would have thought he would be the most hated man
It
in
all-
professional wrestling?
It all
Right,
relies on three simple words. It all went. Oh, it's just a simple storyline. So, oh, it's ironic full circle.
right, exactly. Right, very true. Uh, so yeah, we'll see how things shake out next week. It's gonna be a fun few weeks of WrestleMania because I feel like this is the one storyline that's a sure thing every week, no matter how other storylines are doing. So yeah, with that, let's go on. So let's talk about a little bit NBA. I want to talk about because the Warriors have been actually really good this month. They've pretty much come back on track and are the top team in the West now. Now, a lot of people are talking about how, oh, the Warriors are they're weak. We can exploit them and all that, but I feel like since Kevin Durant's injury, they've really found uh, a really good offensive system around Steph and Cousins. And Cousins is a very interesting case because as you guys know, like he's on a minimum contract. So next year, I'm sorry, this coming summer, he's going to be a free agent who is going to look for a max contract. Um, so my question here is Cousins worth a max contract from what we've seen from him this past few weeks? Cam, what do you think?
They're either going to give him his max contract, or if they don't pay him enough, he's probably going to leave.
I don't think they can pay him enough because they have other four All Stars to pay. So you know what I'm saying?
Like he's probably just came in just to get a ring, and
Right.
pretty much it's the easy way out. So he might
Like-
just call it quits after.
Right, like if he gets his ring or he doesn't get his ring this summer, he's just trying to get paid. And I feel like a team like maybe Atlanta Hawks or New Jersey Nets who just have money lying around, they're just gonna throw him a max offer. And teams like Indiana and whatever fringe playoff team are gonna offer him near max money. So I feel like even if a lot of people feel like he isn't ready for a max, there is no way he's gonna go without getting paid this summer. It's just one of those things, about NBA. The teams need a star, and they'll get it from wherever they need, even if it's a DeMarcus Cousins who might not be 100% anymore after his Achilles, but we'll see. I personally think he will get a max, but I don't know. It depends on what somebody thinks if he is worth it or not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But it's an interesting outlook as to if he deserves it or not. Uh, Speaking of max money players, let's talk about the NBA MVP. Now the race for the NBA MVP has been building up. A lot of people have been saying it's basically a two-man race with some dark horses like Paul George, Nikola Jokic, and maybe even. Actually, I forgot about the player, but yeah, the other two players I was talking about those Giannis and James Harden, who are pretty much the two that will probably become MVP at the end of the season. Now, Cam, who do you think at this point is the MVP?
Giannis, Greek freak. He's one of my favorite players.
True, same. Yeah, he's such a down to earth guy, and he's such a humble dude who loves his teammates, and his game is so amazing. Like I was watching his game against Sixers. Man, that game was amazing. Embiid did really well. He's a future MVP in my opinion. But yeah, Giannis, I think he could win MVP right now. And as we're talking right now, just an hour ago, James Harden dropped 64 points on the San Antonio Spurs. So I mean, even James Harden is doing his absolute best to make sure he repeats as the MVP. But what do you think about James Harden case?
Oh, he's great. He's great.
But what do you think? Do you think if he upsets Giannis for the MVP, do you think it's deserved? What do you think?
Do I think it's deserved? Both do deserve the position because they've been working their hearts out throughout these past few months.
Right.
Either way, they're both great and tremendous players.
Right.
If Giannis wins, it's great. It's great. If Harden wins, it's great.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking Giannis. I think it might be a more feel good story at this point. Seeing how the Milwaukee Bucks have literally taken over the Eastern Conference, and Giannis is literally just going ham right now. So yeah, we'll talk more about other awards, but yeah, MVP right now. I think me and Cam can agree. Giannis is the front runner. So yeah, with that, let's talk about the topic that I know a lot of people are looking forward to talking about. I wish we had a full house for this one because it's a very big deal. Disney, the parent company who owns Marvel Studios, just completed the deal to purchase 20th Century Fox, basically all of Fox's movie division, their series and stuff, uh, are with Disney now. Disney owns them. That includes big properties like Avatar, X-Men, and um, Fantastic Four. Big properties are with Disney now. So I know I know you guys have a lot of thoughts on it. So we'll get it started. Go ahead, Ziggler.
Yeah, it's crazy. Disney owns so much shit right now. They own Lucasfilm. They fucking own Marvel Studios, ESPN, and now they own 21st Century Fox. I mean, shit's crazy right now. Yeah, so shit. Never mind. But yeah, I can't wait for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to come into the MCU. I've been waiting for a long while to see Galactus, Silver Surfer, a good Fantastic Four movie. It's gonna be weird seeing Deadpool, but they said they're not rebooting Deadpool, so that's good. Ryan Reynolds is gonna stay Deadpool, so that's very good. It's gonna be interesting to see their X-Men movies and their new Wolverine, because we all know they're gonna do that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's a very exciting time, but like you mentioned, but it's also one of those things because they already started slashing a lot of Fox's other divisions that make other smaller budget movies and smaller TV series. Uh, so there's that, but at the end of the day, a lot of fans really don't care about that. Unfortunately, it's just one of those business moves that goes under the radar, and everybody looks to the big picture now. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Cam, go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's Disney owns so much stuff right now. Like Zig said, Marvel, ESPN. Which one did you mention again?
Lucasfilm,
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 yes.
Star Wars,
Pixar.
Indiana Jones.
It's a laundry list full of stuff. At one point I was thinking, so Disney owns the entire division of Fox, but it was like, no, it's just the TV stuff.
TV and movies, yep.
A bulk of the stuff is as far as follow. They own Alien, Predator, Simpsons, Family Guy, X-Men, Fantastic Four, American Horror Story. A ton of stuff that's mainly just the adult-oriented stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with those adult-oriented stuff. I really want them to not neuter Deadpool and keep it as it is. But I
Also,
do
the
want to
same
see
with Family Guy.
I kind of do want them to actually.
Who watches
See what-
Family Guy even?
I mean, I
would
used
just
to
watch
watch
the
it.
reruns.
Yeah, I watched the
Exactly.
reruns.
Used to watch it.
Wow.
Damn, Hound.
I wouldn't be
Anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised if Disney canceled it after like one more season. Like,
Oh wait, hold on. Let Cam finish his. Go ahead, Cam.
Alright.
yeah, they should get rid of it, especially Simpsons, because how long it's been going on. I do want to see what they do with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, but a part of me doesn't want to see another Fantastic Four movie after two bad, just self-titled movies, Four Stick
Three.
and the 2005 one. I don't really count Silver Surfer as a self-titled movie. It's like a sequel, yes, it's part of the canon, but I kind of don't want to see them in theaters. I do want to see what they do with Wolverine also, since Hugh Jackman doesn't want to come back. Or has called it quits, excuse me.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting what they do with a lot of their bigger IPs that they acquired from Fox, which actually includes Avatar as well. And we know James Cameron is still working on the sequel of that movie. So it's one of those things. Right, sequels.
When did that movie come out? 2009?
2009, yeah.
I don't remember.
He's been working on that thing for 10 years.
at all.
Also, isn't Ridley Scott making like another sequel to Alien?
Maybe, yeah. So
Who
and
knows?
I guess they're all under Disney now, so it's crazy. That's a plethora of
Hopefully,
great
Alien
directors.
still stays rated R.
True. I feel like Disney can easily just make another division where they only produce rated R movie. Like that's literally no big deal for them.
I can't imagine a rated PG-13 Alien movie.
Right.
Or a PG-13 Deadpool, but then
Yeah.
again, there's that Christmas one.
Yeah.
But we
I
don't
didn't
count
see that one.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't really like it, but whatever. It's one of those things. Go ahead, Hound.
I don't know why everyone's like, ooh, rated R Deadpool, rated R Deadpool. It's not like Deadpool's rated R in the comic books. Like every time Deadpool's hanging out with Spider-Man, it's not like he's dropping F-bombs everywhere, just like in the movies, you know. Maybe in his own comic series, maybe there's like a whole like MA thing rated on the comic. I don't know why everyone's so obsessed. Oh, it's gotta be rated R. Like PG-13 Deadpool works. Like, yeah, no one Like a lot of people didn't really like Once Upon a Deadpool. I liked it. I thought it was fun, and like both Deadpool on the TV is also like PG-13, and I'm pretty sure they probably get a lot of views from that, and people probably like the TV version. I just think people aren't giving like people aren't I don't sorry. I don't think people are gonna give Deadpool PG-13 a chance, even though they should, because it's not like Deadpool's like dropping F-bombs everywhere, like I said. And also, I'm just glad to finally have X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the MCU, because like one of the first things like of me like growing up, like when I was like a baby, when I was like 5 years old, I remember watching that first Fantastic Four movie. I remember watching like Chris Evans like snowboarding down that like huge snow hill, landing in that like ice, like that little jacuzzi thing, and I was like, um, and yeah, I'm so excited for this, man. Like 2021 is like the earliest we will probably see any of these like properties being put to use, but I'm so excited. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very exciting time for obviously MCU fans, as a lot of us are MCU fans, and yeah, it's gonna be great seeing a lot of the characters that we've missed in the MCU come in and make an impact. So very interesting news, obviously. So yeah, so with that, we're gonna end our podcast. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Next
Thank you
week,
for the 75 people that watched.
yes, our growing audience. We really love you guys, and hopefully one day we can do something more than just provide the
Hey.
content for you.
Hopefully we
So
can get money from all this shit.
true,
Yeah.
love to be monetized.
And then we can have like
But
a video podcast. Maybe we can like do a WrestleMania watch along or like a
mm,
movie watch along.
we'll see. Well, let's
Yeah,
not
we'd
think
watch the
that
movie like
ahead.
live, like all together, and give our thoughts.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we'll see. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And next weekend, probably by Wednesday or Thursday, we'll have a review of Shazam coming out, because I'll be watching the movie
And
tomorrow,
maybe me
actually.
too. Maybe me as well, but I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there tomorrow at the press screening, so it's gonna be really fun. And yeah, by next week, Wednesday probably, we'll have the review out. So yeah, really excited for that. So yeah, with that, thank you very
Whenever the
much.
embargo is lifted, we'll have it up.
Yeah, embargo is actually lifting this tomorrow, so we can have it out anytime. So yeah,
All
Yeah,
right.
we should do like a small review
yeah, that's no problem. Yeah. So
before
with
the
that,
podcast.
right. So with that, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.